and welcome. Today we're going to talk about going from self-conscious to self-confident. This is really a story of transformation, and I know that can hit many of us. Hi, I'm Rita Rocker with Soaring Higher.rocks, formerly Transformation Academy, and I welcome you today. We're just going to have some fun learning some things, and I want you to really think about the things that you have wanted in your life, but you're thinking now, oh, I didn't get the education, I don't have the money, I'm too old, all of those things, because it's never, ever too late to start over. I'm living that myself now. And so I love the little verse I saw one time, and it said, I will feast at the table of life. Crumbs are no longer acceptable. And I want to encourage you to feel the same way. No more crumbs. We're going to go for it now. And so you think about sometimes when someone is self-conscious, what does that mean? Well, they feel awkward, they're ill at ease, they're insecure, maybe uncomfortable about what they're doing, who they're around, embarrassed, maybe not sure of themselves. And so I know most of us have had issues with that at some time in our life, just not being really comfortable, but being self-conscious. And so maybe we hide, we pull back. We don't really go after what we want. And so I want to talk to you about that today. And so it's never too late to reinvent yourself, no matter how old you are. I was just listening on the way over here about a lady who took deep sea diving when she was 50. She deep sea dove until she was 75 and really went all over the world with it. And the lady who was saying that was talking about her mom. And the lady who was talking was in her early 40s. She had been a hairdresser all of her life. She said twice she started nursing school, but then she backed out because she was afraid and didn't think she could do it. And now, having kids growing up on her own, she's going back to nursing school. So it's never too late to start over. And so I want to encourage you with that today. So you want to pay attention to self-fulfilling prophecies that you're giving yourself. Again, too old, out of shape, no money, no friends, no nothing. No, we can transfer all those things and change in our lives. And so what I'd like for you to do is pay attention. Start really paying attention to the self-fulfilling prophecies that you may be having in your life. And think about what you want and need to change. Do you need to change, I don't have enough education, to I can get more education. I can even Google classes online, and by golly, my life experiences are full of education. And so think about it that way. Maybe, start saying, I am smart, I am healthy, I live in abundance. And things also like, well, hey, I'm calm under pressure, if that's an issue in your life. You can say that too. And I have a good sense of humor. Maybe sometimes it's like, oh, life just kind of stinks, so I feel like I'm crabby all the time. No, start prophesying then, I have a good sense of humor. And that really works. They say when you look straight up and smile, you can't really frown. Look up and smile sometimes when you feel like you're angry, and tell yourself, no, I have a good sense of humor. I can laugh at myself. I can laugh at other things. Life is short. And then what are the first 5 steps that you want to take? Write those down. What are the steps that you would like to take in life? Maybe it's, I need to practice kindness in spite of the fact that I live with a grouchy family or a nasty boss. But by golly, I'm going to practice kindness. That's something we can do, but it's really something that we have to focus on and really determine to do. That would be an example. Or saying no. I need to say no to all these people that are expecting me to do things. Now, does that mean say no to things that must be done? No. But a lot of times we need to say no to other people who are expecting too much of us. That might be something that is one of your first 5 steps in order to get the time and the peace and be able to focus on what you really do need to do to go forward in life. Another one could be register for classes. If you can register for classes, whether they're credit or non-credit, in order to build up your experience or your expertise. So do that. And as you build up your experience in an area, you can start doing volunteer work in that area. That will also help you build up a portfolio so that when you go out to seek a different position, something you really want to do, even though maybe you've never done it in your life as a job, if you have all these things backing you up because you've volunteered, you've done things that would be beneficial, start building up a portfolio, saving articles, saving things that you've done, because you can also put those in with a resume as you look forward to going into a new career, a new opportunity. So don't forget about that as well. Maybe it's taking a class with Microsoft Office, Word, or Excel. You can find those for free. You can get a lot of educational programs for free. I've been watching a lot of programs even on taking my books and making them into ebooks, and you can get a lot of training on that for free. You can go to a store, talk to people about makeovers. So there are a lot of things that if your budget is really tight right now, which I certainly understand, then you can find ways to join an organization, and there you can also learn skills as well. You know, if you were on an organization or a committee and maybe in membership or maybe just saying hi to people and being a greeter, again, those are things that will give you the steps you need to go forward to build up confidence, to build up the positive connections you want to make with other people so that you can start pursuing that dream of yours, what you really want to do inside. So that's so important. Think about that nurse who was a hairdresser, and now later on she decided she was going to do this. Or, you know, Kentucky Fried Chicken, how he was pretty much broke and homeless when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken in his mid-60s, and really made an impact on a lot of people's lives, especially his. So you can do it. Doesn't matter how old you are. So it's never too late to start over. It really never is. I've seen so many stories of people learning how to fly or you know, fly out of a plane, you know, 80 years old, things like that. So it's never too late. Use all those experiences you have to go forward in that area. Remember the old saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always had. And that is so true. And so we want to think about that. I mean, right now with Transformation Academy, I talked with a gentleman who wanted to take that domain to go with something else, and at first I thought I was really angry because I thought you're trying to take something that's been my life. And then as I thought about it, I said, God, if this is to change and you want me to start over, something new, something exciting, I need thus and so, and it was something to do monetarily. And it really shocked me when the guy got back with me and said, okay, I'll give you this. And I was like, really? Well, that was the exact answer to prayer. So even though sometimes it seems like God is slamming a door shut or something is happening like, oh my gosh, now what? This was my life. This is my relationships. This was my family. This was the job I had. This is the city I grew up in. And you're going, wow, you know, doors are shut. What am I going to do? I'm really hurting. Look at all the work I have to do. And yet behind that, so many times God is working behind the scene, and he is actually creating something new for you. And so we have to be bold. We have to step out, say, hey, if this is you, Lord, give me peace. Give me peace. And not be all jumbled up inside on the human level. And if he gives you peace, usually that means it's a go-ahead. If you feel all disturbed and anxious inside, then quite often that's, whoa, wait a second, and see what God really has for you. So think about that as well. But yes, sometimes life has to change in a big way. And so now, Transformation Academy for me is turning into soaringhigher.rocks. I love that, .rocks. And I was surprised that that was actually a domain name that was available. So sometimes I just said, God, what do you want me to look for in domain names? And Soaring Higher came to me, and when I saw the .rocks, I said, that's it. And so a lot of times when you hit it on the mark, God's going to go, yep, that's it. Go for it. And so do that. Think about, too, are you overcommitted trying to do everything for everybody else? Like I said, it might be really important to just say, you know what, I can't do this, but I can refer you to someone else who can. Or I can help you on the weekend, but I can't help you during the week. Something like that. So think about, what do you really need versus what you think you need or what others think you need. You know, sometimes people will say, well, you've got to do this for me and that for me, and this is what I expect out of you, but it's their choice. What do you need in your life to go forward? and to achieve those things that you really want. So it's always about moving on now, not tomorrow. I'm a great one to think, oh, I'll start my diet tomorrow, mañana. Well, mañana never gets here. And so we want to really start making those plans now, even today. Start thinking of them, start writing down little ideas in how you can go forward with classes, with organizations, with confidants, with pastors, with friends, self-learning classes, whatever the case may be. You know, really think about that. I'm going to switch for a minute from my book, Creating Your Own Destiny, Power Steps for Mind, Body Renewal, and go to a few comments I read from Andrew Carnegie, who was a very, very famous, very, very wealthy businessman, and then Napoleon Hill. And Andrew Carnegie had 6 steps to turn desire into gold. Pretty awesome, huh? And that's what we can do too if we really, really have the faith in it. One is, he said, focus your mind on exactly what you desire. And this isn't just, oh yeah, I'd like to be rich. Well, how do you want to be rich? What is your desire? What do you want to do with it? And so actual activities are things that bring you joy. Think about impacting other people's lives through your singing. Maybe you're an awesome singer and you really want to go that route. Or making great meals and having a little restaurant or a catering business, because by golly, you are really an awesome cook. Helping the homeless, maybe traveling for fun. Focus your mind on it exactly. Do you want to travel for fun? Well, where do you want to go? I want to go to Italy. I want to go to France. I want to go south. I mean, whatever. Think about and focus more on what you really want to do. Maybe writing a fascinating book. Well, what do? You first start taking notes. You start, as things come to you, you start writing them in a journal and taking notes so that you can actually create the body, the contents of your book. And so focus on your book. Is it a fiction? Is it a true story nonfiction? What is it? And so really focus in on, I want this to be exciting. I want it to be humorous. I want it to be a lot of life lessons. Start thinking about it very, very clearly. And then maybe a new career. Maybe you want to be a nurse. Maybe you want to be a doctor at an older age. I've known several people who went from nursing to becoming a doctor and maybe not getting that until they were in their 50s, but they did it because that was a true desire in their heart, like we all have. Determine what you intend to give to others in return. You know, we can't really just take and not give back. So it could be if someone is helping you out with finances, what can you do to care for them? What can you give them in return? Maybe you can fix some great meals for them. Are there services that you can trade with someone else? You have kids at home. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Find someone else who also needs help, and you can barter and you can go back and forth with child care, with cooking, with financial planning, whatever the case may be. Also, that means letting go of the TV a lot of times because there's homework to get you to your goal. So think of those things that are you willing to give up, or are you willing to change in order to be able to have this lifelong goal, this thing that you've wanted so badly. Establish a definite date and that you intend to possess it. Because again, someday never gets here. And so it may be that, you know, within 9 months, you want to have a book published, okay? So then set that as your date and then think, okay, you know, I need to work on publishing. I need to work on creating my outline and the steps that you would need to do that. So you're not going to get to your dream position unless you win the lottery, you know, by the next day. So start making those steps forward to that end date that you put down there and work on those. Create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once. Again, get on Google, get on Meetup, get on educational programs and start thinking, okay, I'm going to go to this store, I'm going to go to this organization, I'm going to talk to them, I'm going to attend a meeting, and I'm going to see if they need any help, and I'm going to be building up my skills as I go along. So think about those things. What can you do that's concrete and will help lead you down the path you want to go? Write out a clear, concise statement of who you are, what you intend to acquire, and you know who you are. I'm a very confident professional speaker. I love helping people, and with this, I'm going to be able to help people to buy gas, pay their rent, but it's also going to help me to buy a new car, a new home, etc. So think about those things with the time limit. and then read them out before you go to bed and when you get up in the morning, so that you're constantly putting in your mind all of those things that you want in life, that you plan to do in life. It could be, oh gosh, first thing I need to do is pull out of this really bad relationship because it's holding me down. It could be something like that. It could be, I need to sign up for a class. I need to seek jobs in a new city because it's time for me to go. And I know it's time for me to go. And I know that God has something for me in another city. So as he reveals that city to me, and then I'm going to start looking for places for jobs, things there instead. So just think about that. Well, I'm going to go to a store and get a free makeover. There's so many things you can do to get started. With Napoleon Hill's self-confidence formula, as he called it, he said, I know that I have the ability to attain my life's purpose. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment. And so that's the only way we can actually get that. One thing he said that I really appreciated was, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will focus my thoughts for 30 minutes every day, creating in my mind a clear mental picture of what I intend to become. That is so important, because if we keep thinking negative, that's what we'll bring in, is more of the negative, more of the defeat. So like he's saying here, really focus on that outward place, where you're going to live, what you're going to do, who you're going to be with, and think about that out loud. And then I say, Father God, show me how I look through your eyes, and show me how other people look through your eyes, especially if they're giving you, some grief, so you can see where they're coming from, what their motives are. And Thomas Edison, I love this because, he dreamed of a lamp that actually could be operated by electricity instead of, lighting the little match on the wick every time you want to have a lamp. And so he had 10,000 failures, 10,000. But he stood by his dream until he made physical reality, because every time he had a failure, he said, okay, that's one more step closer to my goal. This one doesn't work, maybe the next one. And so sometimes it might think like we have 10,000 failures. I know I have felt that way. And yet what those are is steps to know, okay, I need to alter my direction a little bit and go a little bit to the right, for instance, and continue to work on my goals there. So no one is defeated until defeat is accepted as reality. And isn't that true? If I accept the reality that, I'm defeated, I might as well give up. If that's my reality, that's what will happen. So never, ever, never, ever accept defeat. He also says here that no one is ready for a thing until they believe they can acquire it. So even if we want it desperately, if we don't really believe we can acquire it, because we still allow those little tapes to play in our head saying, oh, you can't, you're not worth it, you've blown everything before, how could you expect anything now? Then that's what we'll get. So that's where we really have to fight that, is really to aim high in life and aim for prosperity, aim for abundance, and then use that not only for ourselves, but as a blessing to help other people. And that is so extremely important. Again, we've talked about relationships in the past too, and destructive relationships can destroy our lives and our careers and everything else. And anything that's constantly negative towards us, if it's constantly negative, whether it's at home, at work, health, or whatever, it will wear us down physically and mentally. And that's when we really have a hard time getting up. So again, when those thoughts come to you, switch them around. And so those will be, I'm cultivating new friendships, I'm creating new skills for my new job. And think about it that way, always. Okay, be aware of what tapes you're playing in your mind, again, because you want to replace those tapes all the time. It's still a battle for me. I have to replace those tapes constantly. But that's how we move forward. And that's what I'm going to do with Soaring Higher Rocks. Constant mental tapes that are very positive, that are very motivating in how I can help other people. Negative thoughts, we need to maybe say, oh, gosh, I'm so impatient. I'm impatient all the time because I'm so frustrated with where I am in life. Okay, that needs to be changed to, I'm going to look at this positively, I'm moving forward, I am not impatient anymore. I'm a very patient person, but I'm motivated and I'm going forward. And then procrastination. Usually that comes out of fear. Why do we not achieve a lot of things in our lives? Because we're afraid of failure, we're afraid of rejection, so we procrastinate. And so again, that might be something to play in your mind. Okay, this morning I'm going to do this, this, and this, and make a list before you go to bed at night of the things that you want to accomplish the next day to keep you on track. And then again, if somebody feels like you're not qualified, or if you feel like you're not qualified, that is a lie. Nobody's thoughts, comments has the ability or should be allowed to determine your value, your worth, or where you're going to go in your life. So even, from this day forward, declare each day what you can do, because that is so critically important, what you can do. Most of you are familiar with the name Estee Lauder, who is deceased now, but she started a massive company, Estee Lauder Cosmetics, perfumes, etc. Very well respected, very popular, very busy. And she, like Mary Kay Ash from Mary Kay Cosmetics, had to really fight to be a successful businesswoman back then, when business women really didn't have much that they could go forward with, that they could call their own business. And so Estee Lauder said, "When I thought I could not go on, I forced myself to keep going anyway. My success is based on persistence, not on luck." And that's so true. Sometimes we just have to force ourselves, get up, take a walk, go to the mirror and smile. Say positive things to yourself, listen to some motivating music, and then get back in it and go, no, I can do this. I can do this. This is my desire. This is my goal. This was I was created to be. Because if you weren't created to be that thing that you desire so much, it would go away. It wouldn't keep sticking into your heart and coming back to you all the time. So think about that. So that spirit, that warrior spirit is rising up within you to go forward. So I really want you to think about that. No matter what your problem is, don't nurse it, don't curse it, or don't rehearse it. Give it to God and He will reverse it. And that's so true, not to nurse it, curse it, rehearse it. Like it's so easy to do so many times, but give it to God. And that's what I did recently. I said, okay, with Transformation Academy, God, what do you want me to do? I'm just being real honest with you here. And I said, this has been my life for many years, but I feel like you're wanting me to change it. And so what I said is, Lord, I just lifted up my hands literally. I says, God, I give you everything. I give you all of this. I give you what's in my life. I ask you to take what you want, bring back what you want, recreate what you want, and let's kind of start over in some areas. And let's see what you really have planned now for going a different direction, starting something new, starting something exciting, even though it's going to be a whole lot of work to do. But I said, here, I give it to you. And now I see He's already bringing things back to me, totally new, totally different, exciting, scary, a lot of work. And yet that's part of God's plan. So look forward to the exciting, the scary, the transitions. You can be so successful in your transition if you just allow it to develop. Like I have a friend who's fighting with some things with hers is a divorce and child custody and all kinds of things that are really ugly. And I said, you know what, maybe it's time to just give that all over to God, because every time He starts doing something, you're pulling it back and going, no, it's got to be this way. And so again, sometimes when we pull back, we're actually keeping God from being able to do what He wants to do, because we keep taking it back and getting in there, kind of messing with things. And so if you're at that point in your life where you just say, hey, I really don't know what to do right now, then just say, God, I just give it all to you, and let Him work it out, and then give back to you what will be good, what will be right, what will flow smoothly, and what will bring joy to your heart. And that is so critical. That is so very important. So what I think of is, enjoy swimming in the lane of fulfilled dreams. So sometimes that means getting our goggles on so we can swim in that lane and not see all this other stuff around us anymore, but focus directly on what you want. And so faith in the power of God's Spirit can overcome mountainous obstacles. Not my spirit, faith in God's Spirit. He can overcome all mountainous obstacles. And so I would just encourage you today as we close just to Really think about what you want, what you desire. Ask God to show you the steps that you need to take to get there, and lay it before Him and thank Him no matter what you see, no matter how bad things are right now. Thank Him for what you see in your spirit that will bring you to the point of your fulfilled dream, your fulfilled destination. So I really encourage you with that. Again, I'm Rita with SoaringHigher.rocks, and if you have any questions, you can go ahead and contact me there, and love to talk to you and help you. And we'll see you again next week. Thank you. Bye.